Some brand new polls in the GOP race for the White House showing Donald Trump cementing his lead, with Ben Carson, who was nipping at his heels, now falling. The Quinnipiac poll has Trump at 27%. Senator Marco Rubio jumps into second place at 17%, ahead of Carson, who's now tied at number 3 with Senator Ted Cruz, and Governor Jeb Bush well behind them in 5th place. Chief Political Correspondent Carl Cameron live in Washington now with more. Carl.
Hi, John. National polls often don't reflect what's happening in Iowa and New Hampshire, but we are now within the 60-day window of the first votes in those two states, and any campaign event has the potential to be far more consequential than anything that's happened in the last year. In those states, voters don't make up their minds until the last 2 weeks, and more than half the national voters surveyed by that Quinnipiac poll say they may change their minds too. And you got to remember that the holidays chew up a lot of campaign time in the next 60 days, so we are really getting into crunch time. Trump continues to crush the competition despite, and in many cases because of, the controversies that he raises and sometimes even starts. The more criticism Trump gets, the more his loyal followers dig in, particularly in these early voting states where they've had the most exposure to all the candidates. For most candidates, as controversy piles up, their numbers soften, and that's just not the case for Trump. But remember, he only has a quarter of the GOP vote right now, or 27% in the Quinnipiac poll, which means 3 out of 4 or 75% of the Republican vote, like somebody else. When Quinnipiac tested the GOP field against Hillary Clinton, Trump actually trails by 6 points, and that's the largest margin. Marco Rubio fares best, and he's in a virtual tie, though he's down 1 to Clinton. Ted Cruz trails her by 5, and Carson trails by 3 points. Trump, Rubio, Cruz all gained in this month's Q poll. Carson's support fell about 25%, and his front-runner status in other polls has eroded too. So we're talking there really about 4 candidates. We got Trump, Cruz, Marco Rubio, Ben Carson, and there are 14 other candidates. So they've got 60 days to get something going, and they include Jeb Bush, Chris Christie, John Kasich, who are all pretty much putting most of their time and most of their money into New Hampshire. 60 days to Iowa and New Hampshire vote. John, Rafael.
The time is coming quickly. Carl,
it's finally crunch time. Yep.
All right, Carl, thank you very much. Well, moments from now, Governor Jeb Bush will join us to discuss the new polling, the recent ad blitz on his behalf, and his campaign for president.
Police nabbing 2 suspects charged with beating a disabled man, then posting the video to his Facebook page. And there's this brand new poll showing former Florida Governor Jeb Bush losing steam with the clock winding down to the early primaries. What Bush is saying about his strategy for winning the GOP nomination. And with the Iowa caucuses just 2 months away, who would you vote for? Our live chat is up and running. Just go to foxnews.com/happeningnow to join the conversation.